Africa. What images come to mind when you hear the word? Perhaps a stunning sunset over the Serengeti, or elephants sauntering across a plain, a herd of zebra, colorfully attired natives dancing to the rhythm of drums. But there are other images of Africa that seldom come to mind. Millions of African citizens live in daily fear for their lives as a result of war. Political, religious, racial, and tribal wars have decimated countless villages and compromised valuable resources in most African countries for many decades. To these people, the word Africa means despair, a homeland lost. So it is that thousands of African refugees flee their homeland each year, residing in camps sometimes for years, with the hope of relocating to Western Europe, Canada, or the United States, where they anticipate a new beginning and hope for a better life. She was not sure this was the right bus, but she'd ridden buses in the Sudan many times. How hard could it be? Now, how much is the fare? I only know dollars. What is the worth of these coins? Nothing looks familiar. We're so far from home. I'm so nervous. I remember Elizabeth telling me the story of how she decided to establish a program to help refugees in San Diego. The year was 1999, and she and her husband had just arrived from Sudan. They had 5 children and a few suitcases. That's it. They boarded a bus but didn't know how to pay for it because they'd not been taught about U.S. coins in Sudan, only paper money. Elizabeth felt an overwhelming sense of confusion, embarrassment, and bewilderment. She said to herself, "Here I am. I have had years of education. What must the refugees who speak no English and have limited support feel when they come here?" Later that week, she went to get bottled water at a machine outside a store. Still not knowing the value of coins, she returned home with a huge handful of dimes, unaware that she could have used the coins to purchase much more water. Thus was planted the seed for the Nile Sisters, a nonprofit refugee assistance organization. Refugees approved by the U.S. State Department come here from Sudan, Somalia, the Congo, Uganda, Burma, Iran, India, Iraq, and Croatia. Elizabeth opens her door to bewildered refugees on a daily basis. Resettlement agencies are only funded to provide support for 8 months after arrival on American soil. Nile Sisters steps in when other agencies must bow out to help other new arrivals. Past experiences for San Diego refugees are often painful to talk about. Elizabeth is well aware of the danger these people have escaped.
One-way instruction, you can't question authority at all. And when you question authority, the consequences, you go to jail. It is between you and your God. You may come out, you may not. And so many people lost their lives in that way.
Bureaucratic red tape sometimes splits families up for years, with only photographs taken in camp to remind them of loved ones. Stepping foot on American soil after living in a war-torn, developing country must generate mixed feelings. On the one hand, leaving the danger, starvation, corrupt government is certainly a relief. But knowing you are leaving your birthland and loved ones behind must trigger feelings of unintended betrayal and, of course, a culture shock that is inevitable. Many of the women's husbands were killed in war. That means the women are heads of household, a position they would never have had in their country. Managing a household in America is a major cultural shock, as is obtaining prenatal care, unheard of in many African villages, childbirth in a hospital, and not understanding the language. One of Elizabeth's maxims is, helping women is helping families. Elizabeth helps women enroll in English classes, understand the school system, get ready for childbirth, learn money management, find jobs, and become comfortable with cultural do's and don'ts. She teaches them how to fill out paperwork for insurance, takes them to medical clinics, and interprets for them. She holds community forums for young men to help determine what resources could help keep them out of gangs and what would help them succeed in school and work. Speaking 5 languages helps, but Elizabeth can't be everything to everyone. So, Elizabeth has developed the skill of finding volunteers to come alongside her. Women she has assisted now assist others, as do church and community volunteers who are committed to supporting this worthy cause. Fran Ashcraft takes a mom and her daughter with sickle cell anemia to the doctor for blood transfusions and then to the dentist for routine exams. Recently, a First 5 San Diego grant was awarded to the Nile Sisters to teach English to moms and toddlers aged 3 to 5 in order to prepare them for school. 3 part-time tutors were hired to go into the refugee homes once a week for an entire school year. This program served the dual purpose of increasing the English vocabulary and self-confidence of the mothers, along with the assimilation and readiness to learn of the toddlers. Graduation was a wonderful festive celebration of accomplishment for over 30 refugee children and mothers. Not to leave anyone out, even the tiniest refugees received diplomas. Nile Sisters has received honors from many local community organizations. At a recent Seroptimus luncheon honoring Elizabeth and 2 other leaders who have impacted the lives of women in San Diego, her friends and supporters turned out in full force to celebrate with her. In her acceptance speech, she humbly turned the topic back to the problems of her fellow refugees, focusing on the ongoing needs of this population. Most of the refugee families in San Diego do not own a car, nor can they drive. A driver's license can be a ticket to a good job, perhaps driving a taxi cab or a truck for a local business. Nile Sisters prepares refugees to take the California driver's test through tutoring and actual driving experience. Thanks to a generous grant from Las Patronas in 2008, Nile Sisters purchased a van, and most days Elizabeth can be seen ferrying families to locations throughout San Diego. A local grant received in 2009 enabled Nile Sisters to provide car seats for families to use while being transported in the Nile Sisters van or other volunteers' cars. The car seats serve double duty as a portable bed for a quick nap. Mung Shin Tan sits across from me in Elizabeth's comfortable office in City Heights, remembering the circumstances that led to his flight from Burma in 2003. After being accused of forging a name on a rebel's passport, Mung spent a week in solitary confinement without ventilation, deprived of sleep, then finally released for lack of proof.
I'm sitting in my room in the jail. Somebody knocked the door. 15 minutes like that. It's 3 days.
So you can't sleep?
Can't sleep. When I make for him that ID card, I said to them, I don't know this person is rebel. I don't know this person is rebel, I said.
Yeah.
But I really know he is the rebel.
Uh-huh.
If I confess to them, I know them, they will not let me go.
I see.
Yes.
After escaping Burma and spending 5 years in Malaysia with his wife and 2 children, Mang was finally able to come to America in 2008. As a translator for the many Burmese refugees in San Diego, Mang provides an invaluable service to his countrymen. The smiles of the children are born of a naivete of having been loved and fed and taken care of all their short lives. The smiles of the adults belie the mixed emotions of leaving their homeland behind, facing an uncertain future in the States, yet trusting that friends like the Nile Sisters will come alongside to help them succeed. Nile Sisters relies on grants and donations from people like you who have compassion on your brothers and sisters in need. In any language, reaching out in compassion is a powerful concept. Elizabeth Liu knows what she wants to do for her fellow refugees, but it's a bigger need than any one person can fulfill. Feeding the hungry, giving shelter to the needy, visiting the sick. That's what the Nile Sisters does, and that's the outreach you can help extend. Extending the reach, Now that's a really powerful concept.